Welcome to Drip
Oh.
Music X. We had a little technical difficulties. Did the intro play for y'all on your side? Oh, it was
Yeah.
all crazy.
It was
on
the
mine.
old one. I think it was the old one.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway, we got a show for you tonight. Fresh Stash, how y'all feeling tonight?
I don't know,
Excited.
bro. I think my internet's the one that's going to be cooked tonight, but we're going to try to get through this. I'm excited.
I hope your internet, man. Come on, if we got to do a little black magic seance or something real quick to make sure your internet holds through, because we got a rock legend in the building.
Yeah, we do.
This guy's been in multiple bands. Method of Destruction, Propane, dope name, Propane. Generation Kill, Fragile Mortals. Introducing Stash. You take it away. You introduce our guest.
And he's got his new project, Destroy Myself Canceled. And welcome to Drip Music X, Rob Moschetti.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey,
Rob,
Rob.
how's it going?
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so
man,
much.
it's a pleasure to be here, man. Pleasure to be here.
And who's the sidekick we got with us tonight too?
Ooh, for me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
you got
little guy on your side.
You got a little sidekick.
My dog. Is that,
yeah.
That's Frankie.
All right. What's up, Frankie?
It's a Frankfurter dog, so we named her Frankie.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then I got another one over there, Comet.
Awesome.
Are they dachshunds?
One's a dachshund and the other's a Yorkie Maltese mix, like blonde Yorkie. Hang on a second. This is the other
right
one.
there, so cute. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this fella.
That's funny.
Nice.
Now they're gonna start fighting and playing. All right, guys,
that's
go now.
Usually it's my dogs doing it in the background, so no worries, man.
I didn't know you could see him.
Well, on one of the screens we can see him in the full widescreen. But yeah, welcome, Rob. We appreciate you being here with us. You've been in the music.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, you've been in the music industry for a while now. Done a lot of notable things.
Yeah.
And you got a new project that you're dropping here soon, or is it already out?
Well, it's kind of a strange project where there's an album already released. What happened was I had some downtime with MOD, and my wife was doing a project, and it was mostly like a hip hop project. So I was like not really helping her write the songs, but I was just a musician in the same house as her. So while she was writing songs on the piano and stuff, I'd be like right behind me. You could see we have a drum set and piano in our dining room. So she'd be sitting at the piano writing stuff or just playing stuff. And if something would grab my attention, I would get up and just start playing drums, get my phone, record it. And it slowly morphed into a hip hop album because she was playing these cool melody lines. And then I would just play like a simple drum beat. And then I would demo it. And then she hooked up with a producer, this guy named Diggy Illrock.
Okay.
And then they kind of took that project over and she started rolling with him. But in the interim, she wrote something that was really cool. And I had been working with Daryl from Run DMC on like some original music. And he always had mentioned he wanted to do a certain type of song that I just agree to everything he says because it's like a challenge. But he mentioned this one thing that was kind of like he wanted to do something really melodic, like bittersweet symphony kind of thing. And I showed him something, but it wasn't even mine. It was my wife's. But I didn't do it not telling her. I said, I'm going to show him this song, and see what he says. So he heard it and fell in love with it, and immediately wanted to sing on it or rap on it. So at that point, it wasn't really a band yet. It was just, you know, the embryo of what became a band. We didn't know the direction of it. My wife wrote the music and she wrote the hook, presented it to him, and he already had lyrics written, and the subject matter was exact. And the song is called Scars, and it's released on Did Me Dirty Records, which is my wife's label, and we have a distributor in Europe, WTF. But that one song was released, and then that was like the catalyst for her to keep going with it. And little by little, when she'd be writing, she needed guitar, or she needed drums, or she needed bass. So I was just there, you know. Then fast forward a few years, we had slowly put out song after song after song, and we were about 8 songs in hip hop. Then she was asked to be part of a music documentary, and it was all hardcore bands and metal bands. So we both just kind of decided at the same time, like, you know, you should do a heavy song. I mentioned to her. So I ended up writing 2 songs musically for her in more of the vein of like Propane kind of style. And I ended up, you know, playing all the instruments on those songs, gave them to her, and she wrote these crazy lyrics. And then those 2 songs got a completely different response than the hip hop stuff. You know, the hip hop stuff, it's more of like you know, you hear it online, or you go find it online, you put it in your phone, and but with the heavy stuff, you're more inspired to go out and play it live, you know. So that was our goal, was to go out and start playing live shows. So then what happened was I started transposing all of her hip hop songs that she wrote on piano, and started transitioning them over to guitar heavy songs, but still using all her melody lines. And her delivery changed when she started singing those 2 heavy songs that I wrote for her. So now I'm full blown in her project back on guitar, like I was with Propane. And it's actually kind of sounding musically like my era of Propane, that mid-tempo groove and stuff, not like rap metal. Like, even though the songs were written as hip hop songs, we're not, it doesn't sound like Linkin Park or Limp Bizkit. It sounds like, it's because it's really heavy. She's not delivering it like a rapper. The phrasing is the same way, but she has a very heavy delivery, and the, you know, obviously with heavy guitars and drums, and it kind of has like that Contents Under Pressure, Truth Hurts kind of Propane era. Not like speedy, just grooving and heavy and a little doomy. And so I'm kind of waiting for the MOD record to come out that we did. We did an EP. But in the interim, I'm just keeping busy. I mean, we just got done with a 2-hour rehearsal right before this interview. So we got shows coming out in May to support that record. But we're re-recording a couple of those hip hop songs, and we're gonna release an EP all heavy now, you know. So
Now,
long
I'm
story
sh-
short, you know.
I'm sure DMC is part of the inspiration for the hip hop. Is who else inspired the hip hop part of this, like the
Yeah,
writing the songs
the
as hip
funny
hop
thing
songs?
is, he so wants to be a rock guy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, he
So
does.
when he comes over to us, we end up doing hip hop stuff to kind of blend into his world, but then it's a mashup, you know.
Yeah,
But he sang on 2 of the 8 tracks. You know what I mean? He's not really part of the live band, but he's always invited. If we go play, he has an open invite. You know, if you want to come up and do the song "Scars" with us, like we have a show coming up on the 31st of May, but that's his birthday. So we were like, you know, you should come up and, you know, we're playing in New York City at some legendary hardcore club, and he's like, oh man, that's my birthday. I can't. He's got to be with his family that day. So, but I'm sure eventually it's gonna happen where, you know, he'll just show up and we'll do it. But we're not really selling it that he's part of the band. He just kind of almost got it started. You know what I mean? So Destroy Myself Canceled abbreviation is DMC. You know, it was an intentional thing.
Right.
We didn't know where it was going. When we initially started that project, or when she initially started that project, she was just producing and laying down music. She hadn't planned on singing, rapping, screaming, or being a front woman, you know? So it just kind of slowly developed organically into this monster, you know? It's really a cool project. I'm so proud of it. And I wouldn't be in it if I wasn't, you know what I mean? That's my rule. It's like I've turned down gigs where dream gigs, bucket list gigs. Like I can't say the name of the band because I don't want to shit talk them, but I was invited to join a band, and one of my goals was to open for Ozzy. And these guys had a festival with Judas Priest, Ozzy, and the Scorpions, you know, about 10 years ago. But I didn't like the band, and I'm like, I gotta learn these songs that I don't like. I gotta go up and play these songs and make it look like I'm really loving it when I'm not.
Yeah.
So I basically gave that gig to another guy who never got to that level, but I knew he was good enough. He was an unknown, and I handed it to him, and they trusted my judgment. I said, you got to check out this guy. He's perfect for you. I just said I wasn't available, but I wasn't emotionally available. But this guy, you know, he went from playing in little bars, cover songs, to playing in Japan, playing South America, playing that festival with Ozzy and Scorpions, and playing on those 10,000 tons of metal cruises and all that shit. So I felt good at being able to do that instead of just being selfish. And, you know, again, and then Ozzy dies, and I have no regrets about handing it off because I have more integrity than maybe more integrity than brains. You know what I mean? Like anybody else probably would have done it, but music serves a different purpose for me. I'm never driven by money. I'm never driven by the wrong thing. I tell my wife we're motivated by inspiration, not desperation. So
I like that.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
art to us. Like it truly is art. You know, even when I quit propane, we were about to do in Europe soccer stadiums, outdoor soccer stadiums, opening up for another big band, and it was just not fun at that point. You know, like we had released 2 records that did really well, but there was a member of the band that was like a cancer, and at one point we were us against the world, and then this one member just turned us against each other, and I was like, this is bullshit. I don't want to be a part of this, you know. And I'll never forget, you know, Gary from Propane said, you're walking away from a lot of money. And I was like, I don't do this for the money, you know. I never was motivated by that, but with that attitude, I was able to go out and make money and make a living at it and do well, but that was never my motivation, and it still isn't, you know.
Yeah,
Well, that's awesome, man. Do you have a release date for this drop? You said you was waiting on it. The
Well, the
mixing and
Destroy
mastering or
Myself
something.
stuff, the MOD record, the EP is done. Billy's taking care of the business on that end. I don't even go there with that because I was with Billy back in the early '90s and tried to get overly involved, and that was the demise of me. You know, me leaving back then. I was young and hungry and eager, and you know, now I realize like this is his band. You know what I mean? I contribute in different ways than I do with my solo record or with my wife's record. Or I'm a huge part of that band, but I know my role and I know my place. You know, so I played my ass off on the recording. I love it. We go out and play live. I give every ounce of what I got. But it's more for me. That's more like being a performing artist than, you know. I don't really write much for them. I write my parts, but he's got a grasp on where that band is going. So as far as the business is concerned, when he thinks the time is right, because with a band like MOD, you drop a record right now, it's too late to get on all the summer festivals because they're booked a year in
Yeah.
advance.
Yeah.
So there's this whole strategy involved that I don't want to be in. I don't want nothing to do with. So I don't even say, when's the record coming out? When's the record coming out? Well, it'll come out when it's the right time, for him, which is good for me because I have my other band, and I have a normal job, and a life. So my life's not spent on the road, and I'm not waiting to pay my bills to go on, to go on tour to pay my bills. You know what I mean? I don't rely on that as my main income, so I'm not prisoner to it. So, but the Destroy Myself canceled record is out right now on all digital platforms. Physical copies available in Europe through WTF Records, and we're finishing up the EP for that right now. It's a 4-song EP with just the heavy stuff. But if anyone's interested in a mix, it's about 80-20 in the hip hop, old school hip hop vibe. If anyone's interested in that, it's available on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube,
You want us to play
Apple
Scars?
Music, everything.
We can't.
We can't?
We're because of the last 2 episodes. If we get another strike in the next 3 months, we lose our channel, boys. Like we can't play. We can't play with strikes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
You
so
too, man.
I'm keeping busy with everything, and I'm just really excited about this new thing because it's a different dynamic that I haven't had in decades, honestly. Because with MOD and Propane, we you don't sit together as a band and work on music, and it's like either one or two people write everything. You record a record barely rehearsed, and then you learn the songs as it is on the record on your own. You rehearse a few days, a week or two, and then you're out on the road. But that's like a pro. That's how pros work. You just get the material, you learn it, and you execute it, and you don't have to. There's no arguing. There's no nothing. It's like, here's the record. We're going out and be ready in 2 weeks. We this. It's 5 of us in a room and jamming and working out the parts, and me and my wife pretty much arrange everything. But then when you're in a live format with other guys, we're open to suggestions as far as like altering the material a little bit, to make it sound more human than just, I track all the instruments myself, guitar, bass, and drums. And it's cool, and it's focused, and it's efficient. But then when you're with different brains and different personalities, the tree starts to grow branches. So it's kind of cool, and sometimes frustrating at the same time, but I haven't done that honestly since the late 80s, honest, like we used to get in a room and jam and work out the songs, but like once I joined MOD and Propane, it was just like a whole different ball game, it's very strange how those records come together, but they're timeless and they're here for forever, and I'm proud of them,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it should
that's
be.
awesome.
I lost you there for a sec.
Oh, no worries. I think me and Stash spoke at the same time.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's good. It's good to be proud of those records. It sounds like you've put a lot into them, and I mean, you've had a long career, put in a lot into your music.
Yeah.
How do you find the balance between, you said you work a job and you do music as well? How do you find a good balance of time doing that? That's
Okay.
always a hard thing.
I didn't have a game plan starting out. I had two game plans, like vaguely. I knew that I had to have a record out. Okay, I was in a cover band in high school, and I was like, okay, this is cool, but I'm not going to see the planet and make records doing cover songs. So that was when Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, were out, and I heard those 2 records, and I was like, this, because I like Sabbath and Zeppelin, like heavier stuff, Maiden, but I wasn't going to be Maiden or Sabbath or anything, or Zeppelin. But when I heard Metallica, like Seek and Destroy, honestly the first song I heard from them, just with that chunking guitar, it put it more in my reach. So I immediately started writing original songs, and right after high school, formed a band called Molester with a couple of guys that I was friends with, and within that 1 year, we were opening for the bands we used to listen to, in high school, going in the woods, smoking weed and drinking, listening to Nuclear Assault. Then we're playing with Nuclear Assault, listening to Mucky Pup, playing with Mucky Pup, Hades. Like it's just started to snowball. Creator, Suicidal Tendencies, like all the bands we listened to. By writing our own original material, we started opening for our heroes. And so I said, I got to have a record out by the age of 21, which I did. And that record led me to MOD. Did a couple of records with them. Then we toured with Propane, co-headlining. That led me to Propane. I was playing bass with MOD, but every sound check, MOD didn't want to sound check. Billy was, didn't want to deal with it. But I never got sound checks in the old days. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. I would check the drums, I'd check the bass, I'd check the vocals, and I would check the guitars. Propane sound checked every day. So they were waiting for me to finish. They saw me playing guitar night after night after night. We became friends. We were living on the same bus for 3 months. Fast forward, after a 3-month tour, I get a call from them. They were in Switzerland, and they're about to fire their rhythm guitar player. And they're like, you want the gig? I didn't even own a guitar at that point. And I'm like, but I knew the records. They had 2 records out, and they were still playing some Crumbsucker stuff. But I heard the songs every night, and that's how I learned. I can't learn a song if I never heard it. Like, I'm not one of those first people who could put it on. I could put on a song and learn it, but once I hear it enough times, I learned 2 records in less than a week, So I joined them playing guitar, but I had to borrow a guitar from a friend. But when I joined them, they already had all the full gear. They had everything I wanted. Even though MOD was more popular, Propane was busier and making more money. And that I wanted to be on the road all the time. Billy wasn't a big road dog. Billy was good for 1 tour of Europe, 1 tour of America. Propane was doing, hundreds of shows a year. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. And kind of, jumped ship from Billy playing bass, jumped into Propane playing guitar, and ended up making 2 of the most successful records of my entire career with Propane. The best-selling records that in my catalog, and they're cool records. They're timeless, and I could listen to them from beginning to end without fast forwarding. And the only other record of mine that I can really feel like that is my solo record. And now this EP I'm doing, but there are some of the old records where I'll end up fast forwarding through one of our own songs, but for some reason those Propane albums, I don't even listen to the Generation Kill records. I haven't put them on since I left that band.
It's like that sometimes. I mean, at least in my case as well, there's been songs I've made where I'm like, man, I hate that song that I made,
Well,
and so you don't ever want to listen to it again, or it gets repetitive to you. But then there's those one songs like you've been talking about that are just like, you just know it's a hit, it's a classic. Like,
yeah,
like you said,
and for
it's
me
timeless.
too, music kicks up memories, and I don't want to bring up bad memories. So
That's true.
you do the math. I don't listen to the G Kill records because they bring up bad memories. That band was very, I had good intentions with it, but my back was killing me from carrying everybody. It's no mystery. It was like I was writing like 90% of the stuff, and no one was really putting in the effort that it deserved. And it just became, once I rejoined MOD, I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like. First rehearsal, everybody was just dead on. You know what I mean? Like, even when I join up with DMC, I go play Run DMC songs live, and I meet up with strangers the day of the show, and we jam for an hour, and everybody's just on point. It's like it's as disciplined as a Broadway show. The band in the pit. When the drummer has a vacation, another drummer sits in the seat and plays it exact. When the guy on stage falls on his ass, there's a cymbal right on the hit. Boom. Like, that's the kind of discipline I like. With certain guys I jammed with, all it was excuses and forgetting your own songs, and it was just so unprofessional. It was like,
You can't work like that.
No, it's really frustrating, and I'm right back where I need to be. Working with professionals. And
Where
How
would
was
you
the
say it
trans-
was the best?
say it again.
Where would you say it was the best? Where it was like everybody was on point all the time?
Which band or which?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say 96 Propane. For 1 year, it was our most successful record. Contents Under Pressure. The lineup was great. We were getting along. We were playing in front of 100,000 people numerous times in Europe at festivals, opening for Slayer. Other huge bands and Motorhead, and it was us against the world. And then, like I said, that one member just, it was like a jealousy thing. Me and Gary were like, I was like Gary's right-hand man. This other guy who was, a better player than me, but didn't have the same kind of vibe or charisma, wasn't good with the fans, kind of had an arrogance about him, but he wanted to do the press tours. Like, me and Gary would go to Europe for a couple of weeks and just do interviews, and he just didn't have that, I don't want to say rock star vibe. He just didn't have that charisma,
The it factor, whatever that is.
Right. But incredible player, but was obviously jealous of mine and Gary's friendship and brotherhood, and kind of pitted us against each other a little bit, and just to position himself, and then I was like, this is bullshit. I don't need this, I'm a fucking grown man, and I'll just go do something else, and
That seems to be a common denominator in a lot of bands breaking up.
it's stupid. It's like girly shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's
High
supposed to
school
be a
girl
team.
shit.
You know what it is? It's like a football team or a baseball team. It's chemistry. It has nothing to do. It has something to do with your talent, but chemistry is everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
it could ruin. You could have all the best ingredients. It doesn't mean it's going to taste good.
That's true.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, the right mix.
So as you transition now into Destroy Myself Canceled, working with your wife, is that been difficult or not? I know I had quit my job and I got my real estate license and started working with my wife. She thought she was going to kill me after an hour or two, but actually, we love working together and being together all day long.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, it could be a recipe for disaster, but for some reason, like, I think we were both musicians in another life, because this is really the first professional project she's been a part of. And she didn't really watch how I operated. She would come to the shows and stuff like that, but she didn't know, like, the inner workings of what really goes on. But when we go into the studio, it's as if things that she shouldn't even know, she knows. Techniques, recording things, doubling your voice, like punching in, all sorts of stuff. And then even when she plays the piano stuff, when there's like 8-second holes in between parts, I'm sitting on the couch counting in my head. Even though I don't really count when I play, it's just kind of, you feel it. But I'm counting, and I'm like, she comes right back in. So she doesn't give me reason to not get along. And I think, honestly, she kind of understands me a little better now because it probably was a little difficult for her watching from the sidelines how I operate. When I get into certain modes, I'm just tunnel vision and focused, and it could be annoying to like a spouse. But now that we're in something together, she understands like the goal is just to be great. There's no, we were discussing it tonight as far as memorizing stuff. And she's like, I want to, we're in rehearsals and she doesn't use a lyric sheet. She's just all by memory. And she's learning that the only way to get to that level is to get sick of your own fucking songs. And that's the shame of it. But the only way you're going to make it look like you're basically masturbating on stage is by doing it every day.
Hundreds of times a day.
Yeah. Right. So like at work all day, all I do is listen. I'm hypnotizing my brain. Like the way I learned the propane stuff and the MOD stuff. Before I even pick up an instrument to learn something, I have to listen to it in my brain. And then it just transposes itself to my hands. So same thing with her now. It's like we're in rehearsal mode. We're having fun. It's great. But it's the time you're not with the band that a lot of the mental work gets done, So I think now because she's doing it, maybe she understands some of the past with me where I was just maybe my mind wasn't focused on the present, because my mind, I'll be sitting on the couch and she'll be talking to me and I'd be like running through stuff in my mind. She could tell I wasn't paying attention because I get hyper focused on this music thing, and now we're both doing it together. So now we're both crackheads for music.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So is there any hobbies outside that you do to try to take a break from music, or that helps you with the music, like exercising or anything?
No, like we're both in pretty good shape, but she works out, multiple times a day, My job's pretty physical, so I don't really, I'm in New York sanitation, so my job's pretty physical anyway, but other than that, we just try to be creative, not just music, like anything in the arts, whether it be like video or drawing or painting or anything creative and artistic, just to keep our minds sharp, but also just because we love doing it. We're that's basically what our hobby really is just doing funny,
creating stuff.
Yeah, and mostly it's on the comedic side, you know what I mean? Like we'll do stupid videos and mash up videos, or take video of classic movies and then redo all the audio,
wow.
just like, and just for our friends, just to make people laugh, so that's our hobby, is basically to try to make other people happy and make them laugh.
That's awesome. Well, since you're creating all types of different stuff, are you using any AI, and what do you think about AI right now, especially in music?
Not musically. As far as like maybe art stuff or photo stuff, it's making things a lot easier.
Yeah.
But we're new to it. She's probably more knowledgeable with it, but we don't want it to steal our creativity. You know what I mean? You don't want to rely on it too much. But like, as far as our music's concerned and our videos and all that stuff, it's all just done by us, Like, I don't know if you saw the video for the song All That I Am. It was like directed and shot by us. And we were really happy with it, And she didn't have a live band at the time. So two of the guys that are actually in the band now are in the video, but they weren't in the band at that point. So it was her, and the rest of the band had masks on because we didn't know if they were going to be here. And even though I played all the instruments on the recording, I'm not in the video, but you don't know it because they're all wearing masks. I was shooting it,
I was trying to figure out which instrument you were playing with all the masks on, and I was like, which one is I tried to figure out what you're playing.
Audibly, all the music is me. but I'm behind the camera. And so
Right.
it kind of the mask served a purpose where it's almost her solo project. So the band was kind of just props almost,
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
but they all loved the project. And when we needed a live band, I said it definitely needs to be a 2-guitar band. So we'll use the 2 guys, and then we just went a different direction with the drummer. I want not that I wanted to, but the drummer in the video wanted. He showed some interest in being in the band, and we said you got to audition just like everybody else. And then we never heard from him.
Oh wow.
So
What instrument
You
do you
think that
play
was
in the
ego?
band?
what's that?
Go ahead, Fresh.
Do you think that was ego?
No, I mean, I don't know. I like the guy. He's a nice guy. I didn't know. I don't know his drumming abilities. I see he's in a couple of bands, and I've watched them before, but you never know what someone's like until you actually play with them. So I didn't want to just assume him in the band because he was in the video. I said you gotta, because we had open auditions. So
But yeah, do
I
you think it
had
was his ego that said like, I'm not gonna
Uh,
audition?
I don't think it was that. He's not that kind of guy. He's such a nice guy. He was probably surprised that I said you got to audition. But I think we made the right decision, But who
And are
knows
you
what the
playing
future-
bass in the band then?
I know I'm back on guitar with this.
You're on guitar now. Okay.
But on the recording, the 2 songs.
all you.
Obviously, I did the bass as well. It's so cool because bass is like so second nature to me. Like I really don't put much thought into it. It just comes very easily to me. But guitar, I got to work that a little bit more. But it's a completely different animal. Like it's not even similar in any way. People may think it is, but for me, it's 2 different planets, but I love them both in a different way.
You don't have a favorite out of everything? Drums, bass, guitar, anything?
Well, the things that I would consider favorites, I'm not that great at. I would love to be a shredder on guitar, but I'm not. And I would love to be Neil Peart on drums, but I'm not. So, like, you want what you can't have. But no, I mean, if I had to choose guitar or bass, it's funny because people think bass is like an easy instrument or but bass is way less forgiving than guitar. Like when I look at the old Propane live videos, that was such a gravy, easy fucking gig, as far as the playing. Just
Right.
power chords, simple. I didn't have to play any solos. It was a piece of cake. Bass, if you miss a note, the whole town knows it. You know what I mean? It just drops out. The sound just drops out. People think like the PA shut off for a second. So like
You want to blame the PA?
Yeah. So to me, you miss
wasn't me.
one. When I'm in MOD and Louis goes into a guitar solo. Now there's rhythm guitars on the records, but live when he goes into a solo, I get off on being the only part of the rhythm section other than the drummer. Like it's just like I could be off the rails at any second, but I'm like excited to have that pressure where it's like I ain't dropping the ball. You know what I mean? No fucking way. Guitar, you can kind of just strum, miss a note, let it ring out. Bass,
Yeah, I agree. Even with like bass dropouts on purpose, you still got to be so perfectly timed with them.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to, you don't want to have a bunch of those in a song, and then it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, there's way more responsibility. People think, I'm not that good a guitar player. I'll just play bass. That's not really. there's a way to get away with playing bass as a minimalist. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play
Yeah.
it simple. You still got to be solid. You can't, can't miss. You know, but to me, obviously, bass comes a lot easier than guitar. But I still love playing guitar. You know, I can't distinguish between the two of them, which I like more. But I'm probably better as a bassist.
Awesome.
Cool.
Before we get into the next segment of the show, I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Mm-hmm.
And this next segment is my favorite segment. But first, there a place that you love to tour most? Like, was there one location, one city, one club, or something that is just your favorite of all time that stood out the most? There goes my dog.
Well, the big ones for me, I love when those bands go, oh, I like playing intimate clubs. Man, fuck that. I want to play in front of 100,000 people. Who doesn't?
Fuck yeah.
So
Right.
yeah. So no, for me, like, the festivals in Europe, there's a few of them. There's some mostly the ones that I remember the most were in the Netherlands.
Mm.
Outdoor, but I can't. We did shows with Motorhead in Germany, and those were awesome too. As long as there's people there, that's the other thing too. Is I 2019 MOD played in Russia, and I was nervous about going there. And then once we start playing, it's like we were playing in New Jersey. You know what I mean? Like they're just metalheads.
Right.
And I thought that was so cool. Like 300 or 400 kids singing every word to an American band in Russia.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
USA for MOD songs, and they're Russian, and I'm like, this is crazy. They're just like us. They don't care about the government and the politics, and that shit separates people. But this music brought us together. So sometimes it's not the size of the place. Sometimes it's just like the venue itself. Places like Russia and places like Yugoslavia and places that have been bombed after we left. Like I have friends in Ukraine, I have friends in Russia, I have friends in Belgrade, all places that are war-torn countries. Like after we left, and I'm thinking, where the hell was I? Like bombs could have been dropped on us, but you don't think about that when you're there.
Have you noticed the difference in the crowds, in the people who come to the show from back in the day to current?
I don't know if it's the crowd that's different. I think it's me that's different. I think back in the day, I felt like I had to sell those songs more. But now those songs are so legendary. I don't feel like I have to be a monkey on stage trying to oversell them. Like, obviously, I'm headbanging and I have my presence. But I look at the old videos and I felt like Flava Flav or something up there trying to hype, like a hype man,
Uh-huh.
And I look at it and sometimes I cringe, like, oh. But all I was trying to do was like get people who'd never heard the band into it, and I was overselling it. Now I could play it a little cooler. Like I said, I still have the stage presence, but like I don't feel like a circus monkey trying to sell them. So I think I've changed more than the people. They all know the songs, they all know the words. These songs have been around for 40 years and 30 years, and now my focus is just to do them justice, playing them. But I'm not a bore up there either, just standing there. I just have a different stage presence than when I was younger.
It sounds like you enjoy it more now because you're not trying to, like you said, sell as hard.
I really do, because now I know these songs so well. I'm up there as a listener almost. Like I don't really have to pay attention to what I'm doing. But with my new project, my wife, obviously I do because it's new. But the MOD stuff, like I'm playing SOD songs, MOD songs. I grew up with these songs, so I'm not even paying attention.
It's just natural.
Yeah, and I get to look at the crowd and interact with the band, and it's really cool, honestly. You know.
Yeah, that's a
That's
big
awesome.
plateau to get to for sure. Very respectable plateau. A lot of artists will never even reach to even understand what you just said.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very lucky, but you know, I dreamt of this my entire life since like 6th grade when I got a guitar. What kid doesn't want to be a rock star, or be making records, or seeing the world, or getting on an airplane on someone else's dime, and having gear waiting for you in other countries, and people, you know, wanting you to sign records you made, or people just connecting with a song you had something to do with. And you know, it was a slow progression, but now that I'm, you know, 57 years old, I look back at it and be like, this is so fucking cool. You know, like I accomplished what I wanted to. I didn't strive to be a millionaire, you know, rock star. I just wanted to make records, see the world, have some fans, and be happy. So I'm fulfilled as far as music's concerned.
That's,
Good for
I
you.
think that's the
That's
that's the best you can ask for.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was, and again, it wasn't motivated by money. That's why, you know, like uh, I know a lot of frustrated musicians, and I'm like, then why are you doing it? If you're frustrated, just go do something else.
Yeah, go get a job.
Yeah, I have no shame. I don't hide that I'm a sanitation worker. You know, I'm proud of it. I balance the two. What I did from 19 years old or 21 years old to 28 years old, just doing music, that set me up for the rest of my life, because that's when I got a job at 28. Now I've been a garbage man for 30 years. You know, I have a future and a life aside from music, with health benefits for my wife and daughter. I know a lot of 57-year-old guys still waiting to make it, you know, and
Mm.
you know,
And not the truth.
yeah. I mean, I didn't make a conscious effort to change the path of my life. It just kind of happened. I think in my brain, I thought, okay, music's cool, but it's not going to support me forever. But luckily, the records I did with Propane MOD set me up where I can kind of go to Europe once a year, support whatever I'm doing, and then come back and have a job.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Fresh, you know what time it is.
All right, fine. This is Frame's favorite part of the show.
An interview, you can't eat on camera.
Bring
I'm
on,
asking, can I eat on
bring
camera,
on the
guys?
pizza. Yeah, bring on the pizza.
That'll make
Bring
this
on
segment
the
more
pizza.
difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll make
it's gonna make this segment nice, fun, and difficult. So bring it on.
it's already a difficult segment, so that's great. I
Okay.
love it.
Have to show
This
that
is
now.
Okay, you show 'em.
No.
Check it out. Yeah,
oh
boy.
yeah.
Oh,
That was,
Oh,
no.
you almost
Yeah.
dropped it.
My dog
Scared me.
almost just got the slice.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you like 10 questions. Just give me like 1 to 2 sentence answers.
Okay.
First thing that comes to the top of your head. So, if you had to describe your sound as a weapon or a tool, what weapon or tool would it be and why?
Shotgun.
Ooh.
Because I
Don't
shoot
even
from
need
the hip. If you look at me playing, it looks like I'm a redneck shooting a shotgun from the hip.
That's amazing. Do you have a go-to ritual or habit that helps you get in the zone before a show or recording?
If I say that, I'm going to say it. My wife just looked at me and she said, jerking off. But that's not true. I jerk off before shows?
Your Bluetooth.
That wasn't before a show.
Before you take a bath and get ready.
No, I think it was after the show.
No, it was before.
Okay, she's right. I guess I jerked off before the show. Can I tell the story real quick?
Yeah.
I told her I was going to go up and take a nap before the show, and she got in the car to leave, and the Bluetooth in the car picked up the porn I was watching. So she was in the driveway, and all of a sudden she hears,
Listening to porn.
She runs
That's
back in the house.
fucking
She goes,
hilarious.
dumbass, turn up your Bluetooth.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh, did we lose you?
Oh, what happened?
And on that note, hello, there you go.
Okay, we're back.
Oh, there it goes.
You kind of
Um,
spoke for a second.
have you ever written a song that you loved but you chose not to release it? And if so, why?
I wrote a whole album and didn't release it because I wrote about my life in 2015. It was really personal, and I planned on releasing it, but I made a fatal error in having a partner finance it who was a drug dealer.
Mm.
And me and him had a falling out, and I was like, you know what? I got what I wanted out of this record, just writing it and recording it and seeing the reaction to it, because people heard it. And every copy I got, I gave away. I couldn't give a fuck about selling it. I just wanted people to hear it. We did shows, they were selling out, but it was cathartic and it was therapeutic, because I had lost two brothers. My two closest brothers in age died within 3 months. So I was a train wreck, and I needed something to get out all that emotion. So I recorded it, and then when it came time to release it, the shit went down. And I said, the manager was like, "Is there any way you guys could work this out?" I said, "Nope, nope." And it had nothing to do with it was Dirty Money that recorded it, but I think it was a way of my brothers saying, "Don't release it. It's not pure. It's not healthy. It's not. This isn't the way you should release your. This isn't the way you should release your record. That's a dedication to us. It should be, So I shelved the whole fucking thing, and I recorded a solo record years later. Didn't use any of that material, but used the same catalyst of like therapy and writing their story and my story on the solo record. So I shelved the entire record.
Cool.
But you still play it live?
Nope. Don't play any of
nope.
it live.
Okay.
Nothing. Only because there was people involved in it that I don't even want to give them the credit having any attachment to me whatsoever. They don't deserve it. That's how special music is to me. I share it with you. You end up resenting me or fucking me over. You don't deserve to be on anything with my name on it. That's how I look at it.
Cool. What's a lesson that you've learned about the industry that you wish you knew earlier in your career?
I never let any of that crap bother me. I know what it is. Like, you're only as good as your last record. I'm strong enough and smart enough to understand that. But I see, and I see all the phonies, people who hate each other and people who talk shit about each other, but are afraid to because that person can help you in a certain way, or maybe you can open for them. And I don't fucking play by that rule. I just don't. So I don't give a fuck who you are or how big you think you are, or if you think you could blacklist me because, if you fuck with me or say something stupid, either I'm going to knock your fucking teeth out or I'm going to tell you how much of an idiot you are or an asshole you are. And if it costs me gigs or tours, it doesn't matter to me because I've already lived my dream. So I don't have to blow anybody to get radio play or to get tours or anything. I'm with fucking Billy. So he's the most hated man in metal, but he still has a fucking huge fan base, So I learned that the industry is phony a long time ago. But I know what's real to me and what's not, This has nothing to do with the fans. This has to do with people who think they know what's good and what's not. People in the industry don't know what's good. The fans dictate that. You know, not some
Yep.
fucking
Absolutely.
dweeb in a suit who thinks he knows music. I mean, if anyone would have told some suit that System of a Down was going to be as big as they ever became, they'd be out of their mind, because they sounded crazy. To think that they would have commercial success is absurd. But the fans dictated that.
So, what's one genre or musical style you'd love to experiment with in the future?
We have a home studio, so I do that. There's really nothing. If I want to try something, I just do it. Like if I feel something, like I write music without a home. So I have hundreds of songs that don't fit MOD, don't fit Destroy Myself, don't fit solo project. But if whatever emotion I'm feeling, I write. So sometimes it comes out as, mellow or acoustic or classical, or some songs are just all piano. Like whatever I'm inspired by, I just do it. I have that luxury to be able to. So right now, there's no style that I would think of doing. I've done avant-garde stuff with friends just for fun and spontaneous stuff. So no, there's really nothing at this point that I would say. Nothing comes to my mind that a style that I would like to pursue or mess with. Because I just do it anyway.
You got some disco pop somewhere?
No, but
But he doesn't want to make that either.
if I woke up, if I took ecstasy one night and then woke up the next day wearing panties or something, I'd say, hey, I want to write some disco pop. No, but if something, if I get hit on the head with a sledgehammer, maybe one day I'll wake up and be like, I want to record some disco pop.
And you would.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, maybe I'll do it, but I won't even know I don't even know what disco pop is.
I don't know either. I was just trying to think of something. I didn't know what it was to say.
Yeah.
And disco pop was the first thing that came to mind. I'm sure it's a thing. It's got to
If
be a
I
thing.
did it, it would probably sound like Ministry or The Prodigy. It would always sound heavy.
That's funny. If someone made a movie about your life, what would the theme song be?
It would be Sid Vicious doing My Way.
That's a great
The
scene.
Sinatra song.
That's
It's a great scene with Sid and Nancy.
When the Sex Pistols did My Way, that would be it.
Nice.
Even though that's his theme song for his movie.
What's the most surreal experience that you've had as a musician?
Surreal. The first times of anything, like as a fan, getting it. I had just joined MOD, and we were recording the my first record with the band, and then Billy got a call to go out to LA to play with SOD, and he brought me with him because he thought it would be good for press. And like one of the first people I met was Tom Araya, and like I mean I met a bunch of people that weekend, but he was the only one who seemed like down to earth and just totally cool. And guy was my idol, This fucking guy, singer and Slayer. You grow up in high school listening to Slayer, and that was surreal to me because I'm with Billy. We run into him, and he says to me like, how do I know you? I know you from somewhere. And I'm like, no, you don't. But, I'm just breaking into business right now. And then I remember saying to him, I go, where's all this good California weed I hear about? He pulls out a joint out of his flannel pocket, and I smoked a joint with Tom Araya. And then, maybe 6-7 years later, we're playing together at Dynamo Festival, and I'm standing on stage watching them. Like, that was surreal for me. And Motorhead, the Motorhead shows. Not that I'm a huge Motorhead fan, but I'm a Motorhead admirer for what they did. They broke down the door for everybody. So, like, it wasn't even the shows. It was like the pre-show stuff. Like, we'd be playing outdoor soccer arenas, and I would break into the gymnasium and steal a soccer ball and go out in the field before the kids were like, before the venue was open. I'd be out there kicking a soccer ball around, and all of a sudden the guys from Motorhead are out there with me just kicking the ball around and shit like that, Yeah, I mean, obviously the shows are all great, but now they're kind of all a blur. It's hard to pinpoint show moments. Like, I watch videos and it's like someone else was up there, and because it's so long ago. But those other things, those other memories stick with me more than even the shows. Just like the personal stuff.
Nice. And the cliche question: if you could play with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
Hetfield, if it was like, if I had a chance to play with Metallica, now that they have Rob as their bassist, that window is gone. Like, after Jason, I think I could have done something. I could have fit in, but I'm not filling Rob Trujillo's shoes, But to play with those guys would be amazing,
Cool. Well, that was
Yay.
What happened? I lost you.
Oh, he likes the little outro.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a little graphic and song that plays when
I
he starts
see.
and ends that segment. Yeah. Well, Rob, it was a pleasure having you at Stash Fresh. Is there anything else you got for Rob before we let him get back to his pizza and enjoying that pizza?
What was it, homemade or was it store bought?
It's what was it? Red Baron?
Yeah.
Red Baron.
Red Baron, but my wife puts like probably an extra pound of mozzarella cheese on top of it.
Yeah. That's how
You
you
gotta
do
doctor
it.
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you do
Yeah. Blow a couple of tubes, eat some pizza.
Nothing wrong with that. That's the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we just got back from band practice, so now we're just chilling.
nice. Well, thanks for coming on. And
Yeah, Rob, thank you so much.
It was a pleasure
Yeah,
having
thank you so
Rob.
much. And everybody out there, please check out the Destroy Myself Cancel project. It's Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music.
When you go on tour, make sure you come to South Florida.
Oh no, we'll be there. I mean, we had a house. We had a house in Port Charlotte for a little bit, and we plan on coming back. But we're definitely going to come back and play, because I think Destroy Myself is going to do shows with Billy's other band, United Forces, the SOD band.
Mm-hmm.
So they just came through here just recently, but we were still in rehearsals. We weren't ready yet. So the next run they do, they're going to jump on. So they'll probably be like more like Tampa and stuff like that. But I don't know. How far south are you guys?
I'm West Palm Beach.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That ain't bad. Like there's clubs over there too. We MOD has played there probably before you were born though.
No, I don't know about that.
maybe us.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two maybe, not me.
But both bands will be down there. MOD will be down there, and Destroy Myself will eventually be there.
Well, if you're
Cool.
down my way, I'm definitely going to come by.
Yeah, I need your help to get people there.
Yeah, I'll do everything I can.
Cool,
There
guys.
you
Thank
go.
you so much.
All right, guys.
We really appreciate this.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, brothers.